Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this is the start of the Nova Blast unboxing and receiving process. So as you guys recall, I think back in 2023 I ordered a Nova Blast, and we are now in 2025, and I guess it's starting to appear. And I say starting because if I recall, this is supposed to come in 2 boxes. Actually, I'm used to cabs just coming fully assembled, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, I was notified it was going to be in 2 boxes that you have to put together, whatever. And as you notice, this 1 box here. So hopefully later today or sometime very soon, I get the second box and we can get this put together. I don't know if this is the base or if this is the actual arcade piece, if you will, but at least part 1 of 2 packages are here. So we'll go from there and hopefully get this process going. Okay, so we got box 1 of the Nova Blast opened up. I'm not going to go through step by step and do a install setup for it. We'll do a full review once everything is there. But this is box 1. I did check my my tracking, and it did say that the other part should be delivered today, so that's good. So this is just the first box. So far everything seems to be packed well. I think, I'm not looking at the instructions yet, but I think this is the actual frame, or the base, if you will. So since the other one's not here yet, I guess I'll go ahead and get this unboxed and maybe set up, and then just have to do the other one. So it'll be 2 separate videos. We'll just do the receiving of the other box and the setup of the base, and then the setup of the actual bar top, and then do the actual review. Early impressions is that I would say the metal, the frame of it is sturdy. It's got some weight to it. So far so good. Let's see where we go. So I said I was going to do this piece by piece, but after taking all the pieces out, I noticed that there are no instructions in the box. So my thinking is that they truly meant for everything to get installed all at once and not just a base and then the cartel. So there's no instructions, and while I am an engineer, I could probably figure it out. I'm just gonna wait till I get the instructions and follow it step by step. That way, when it's together and I do the review, there is no misunderstanding of, oh, you did this wrong or you did the wrong assumptions. I will do a wait so I have a fair and accurate review of the installation, delivery, and everything else. And then we'll start the testing process. So the point of view of, once I'll go over this again when I do the true review, but this is to be a point of view of how good this is relative to a person who collects real arcade cabs, and looking at it from that point of view. So we'll go from that perspective as we go. I did figure that this is the actual base plate. I could see that because of your indentions where you're going to be putting these, right? So you can tell that in my assumption, without any instructions, that this is the bottom right here, and then your wheels will go there as well and such. So as much as I would love to just go ahead and put this together, at least the bottom part, and have it ready, it looks like I'm going to have to wait for that second piece to come so that I can actually do it in full correctly. And there's your coin door, and this box right here, inside here, has the coin mech inside there. So that's inside here, and this is your plate for holding your PCB and such. So there we are. That's box 2 of 2 technically. If you were to look at the shipping, this box is actually the second one. So hopefully the other one arrives on time and we can get it going and get some install going. All right. Okay, so turns out they Unico made a video online that showed how to set up the arcade, the top and the bottom. Obviously, like I said, the top has not come package 1, but I was able to use their video to easily install and set up the base. So that works pretty good. So props for them for having not only a instruction manual, but actual video with somebody going step by step of how to install it. So it was pretty good. As far as the base itself, pretty stable and pretty secure. I was surprised at the actual construction of it. I was thinking it was going to be a little flimsy piece of metal and everything else, but it has decent weight. It feels secure. The wheels or the rollers at the bottom are good. The stoppers, everything works pretty good. I didn't have any problems with the screws. They all lined up, working correctly. I didn't have to struggle to put anything together. So pretty well done as far as the construction of the base so far. So since I know I'm still going to have to go back inside the panel to attach the bar top to this panel right here, I just did 1 or 2 screws right there, since I know I'm going to have to open this back up to finish the rest. But I just wanted to go ahead and attach it so it's out of the way, so I don't have to worry about anything else. But overall, as far as just the construction of this one, impressed so far. So we'll see how the top part comes. Hopefully it comes undamaged. This one came in good condition. There was no damage, nothing that was out of order. So pretty good, pretty well so far. So we'll get the other package, get it installed, and then after that we will start testing out the cabinet and see what it's worth. All right, guys, so it's been 2 days later, but lo and behold, the second part of the package did arrive. From what I'm seeing, that looks like it's in decent shape. Not seeing any major damage to said item. So we will get this inside and hopefully get the second part of the installation done and then start the full review. So let's get started. Okay, so this is how the Nova Blast comes packed up when you open the box. So you can see 2 different components with cardboard on both sides, cellophane on the inside there. So let's continue on the process of getting it set up. Okay, we got everything out of the cardboard box, which was not that hard to do, but it was sealed pretty tight. So we got the main monitor unit right there. It came in 1 section. You got your speaker set, and yes, I did get the U4. We'll talk about the reason I got this instead of the other model in a second, or a little bit later when I actually do the review. And then we got the control panel. So everything, and we got accessories and everything else that came here. So everything so far looks to be packed well. I don't see any damage. So we'll get it all set up. I will be customizing this just like I would do any other real arcade cabinet, if you will. So I'll be able to give feedback on how easy it is to customize this stuff, because anyone who has followed the channel for any number of years, you know I don't use the pink and green buttons and toppers for any of my cabs. So that's number 1 thing that has to go quick, fast, in a hurry. So we'll get all that buttons and joysticks updated and updated. We'll get that marquee there updated, changed out, which was one of the main reasons I got this model, that I could update the marquee to whatever I wanted it to be, versus the other model, you were stuck with that branded marquee that you cannot change without a lot of difficulty. So we'll get this set up and everything else and go from there. Okay, so the buttons install with the new ball tops. Everything installed correctly. I will give Unico high props. I didn't see anything that was loose. Looking inside the control panel, everything else, when I went inside to replace everything was nice and tidy. So well done for you guys. Let me adjust this button right here. That was me just now. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Next up, I'll replace this back up and then get the marquee set up. Okay, so I'm nearly done with the setup. Buttons installed, joystick, all that installed, no problem. I did notice a defect within shipping. If you notice in the upper corner right here, it's had a crack on there. I think they tightened those screws a little too tight, and I'll be able to fix that, and I'll contact support to get a new panel for that. But the overall panel is still intact, but that needs to be replaced. Disappointing that attention to detail was not as expected. But coming around to the side, I'm going to go ahead and get the JAMA connector hooked up. We'll talk about the JAMA. There's a power, everything else. So far so good as far as the overall setup. It's a lot of little tiny screws. I wish they were a little bigger with what they decided to go with for putting this thing together, but overall not that bad. So let's finish it up. Okay, everyone, so we have the cab put together. It's fully assembled now. As you see, you got the marquee up and running. It is illuminated. Got the control panel updated with all of the buttons and such. That worked in pretty fine, pretty easy. And we got the base attached to the bar top, if you will. So overall, not a bad installation process. Probably took around let's just say an hour to do so. It took more time to actually get the marquee put inside than it took to actually do all the buttons and make sure they were all secured inside correctly. They give you a nice panel up top where you can open it up and get into to update the marquee if you want. But the mechanism for how it's being held together is very unintuitive. So that part could have been improved a little bit better, but it got in there and it does work and everything else. That was one of the reasons I got this model of the cab instead of the other model. So I believe this is the U4. So similar to that model right there, where you have the speakers at the top, that same type of cabinet. So that's pretty cool. Early impressions, the cab has some weight. It's not flimsy, so that's good. The fans that are running in the back, I've heard louder fans in some arcade cabinets. They're not quiet by any means, but they're not so overwhelming. So right now I just have the sound turned off, so I don't have to fight against it when I'm doing it. But tomorrow, when I start actually doing reviews for games, we will actually have the sound on and everything else. So overall, pretty good for build construction and everything else. As far as the monitor itself, it took me a little second to understand how to configure it and calibrate it and everything else. Once I did, the picture looks decent to me, but I did have to go in from just plugging it in and configure it the way I wanted it, so it had a nice look. Before I did that, it looked washed out, but once I went inside the menu and adjusted things, everything looked pretty good. Alright, so there we go. I figured since I put Alien vs. Predator in the marquee, I would just put in Aliens vs. Predator in the actual cab. So inside, pretty straightforward. So there's CPS2, Alien vs. Predator, right, hooked up to the JAMA. There's another game, we'll probably test that out. We'll test out that one, that's the second game, and then we'll build up. So my whole point was that I'm not going to stick a $3,000, $4,000 cave game in here first and not know the reliability of the connections, if they have any shorts, anything out. I don't want it to burn up a cave game. So we're going to start off with pretty simple, some basic arcade games. So we got Aliens vs. Predator. We got Knights of the, what is that, KO? Knights of the Round 3 HD. We'll try that out, which is a very picky arcade game. That's why I picked that out, to see how it works in this cab, because it's very peculiar the way it's set, and we'll talk about that some tomorrow or in the next video. We have, we're going to probably do some GNET game, 1 or 2 GNET games. Put that in there, see how it does. Then, of course, we're going to do some Neo Geo games, but I think some other people, I think Neo Geo is probably the most common one everybody's using because it's an affordable arcade board. So we'll try 1 or 2 Neo Geo games in here. We'll try a base PGM game inside of here. And then after we see that everything's secure, then we'll try a cave game in here. That'll be last. But once again, like I said, I don't want to start off with a super expensive game and come to find out there was a short in the manufacturing of their JAMA connection or anything else and burn up a valuable game testing out this system. So we'll go from there. Next video I have games going through and testing it out, and I actually may have a brand new arcade game to try out for the Neo Geo. I got a tracking number that said they were sending me a new Neo Geo game to try out. So we will see all of this in the next video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to post a comment on the video. I'll get back as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.